you very much, Rob and colleagues, for inviting me along to address you today. It's always a pleasure to do so. As you see, I haven't got a written speech of 17,000 pages, luckily. But a couple of things I wanted to focus on, if I may, which I think are of a real interest to the movement, aside from the obvious debate about where do Labour go on economic policy. And the thought struck me that, yes, of course, money is going to be tight. Why wouldn't it be after 14 years of carnage under the last government? But we are looking to a more optimistic future. And we're looking to a government that is determined to find the money where it can be found to fund our public services and to make sure that those in the poverty net are not brought down further. And it reminds me of a statement made, I'm not sure if it's Attlee or Bevin, in 1948, even I wasn't born then. But they said that the way to boost the economy, or words to that effect, was to go after the offshore tax havens. And nobody, Labour governments, Tory governments, in decades past, have ever been brave enough to take that decision. So here's the challenge we should be laying down to Labour government. Start doing something to get those billions of pounds in avoided tax that's laying in those offshore funds. And while you're at it, do something about the black economy in this country, which Inland Revenue Customs colleagues will tell you is anywhere between 136 billion, million, whatever you want to put a figure on. It's huge. So there is things they can do, and there are things we can force them to do as well. But the focus I wanted to put on my couple of minutes here is about the criminal justice system, because that too is a priority for this government. All of you will know that the early release of prisoners scheme is coming on track on Tuesday. It replaces the one that has been running before. And why does that matter to you? Well, quite simply that whilst in probation, our members understand the need to do something to arrest the decline and the chaos that has been caused in the prison capacity system, there's not much else that can be done than what is being done on Tuesday, with the release of some 5,000 prisoners, 40% of their standard sentence. Now, the job of our members in probation is to make sure that anybody released from the prison estate is supervised properly and that there's a proper levels of public protection. I can't stand here today and say that this scheme is any safer than the one that it replaces. The only thing that it will do, theoretically, is give probation practitioners more opportunity to plan ahead for the release of a particular prisoner ahead of their release date, and make sure the necessary checks and balances and support mechanisms where they're needed are in place. But you will all know about the funding chaos that's out there in terms of social services, mental health services, and all the rest, and the shortage of housing in the UK. So there will be, I fear to say, serious further incidents of harm occurring. We will do our best, we, the members, hard-pressed members out there, who are fighting very hard, at 120% of their workloads, some of them, 120%. Fighting hard without the necessary staffing in place, 34 to 50% vacancy rates in probation regions. So that's the flavour of the crisis that's out there. And as our motion to TUC says, it's not just prisons that are full, but probation is full as well. And people can't take any more. So we've had some success with the new Lord Chancellor Shabana Mahmood. She listened to our representations in terms of doing something to reward hard-working members. And we were able to make a bit of a breakthrough in bringing forward the last increment of the 3-year pay award back to April this year. So that's resulted in some cases, simple back pay for members, but it doesn't solve the bigger issues. What the probation service and the prison service indeed needs is a rescue package that will stop overcrowding in prisons. Because let me tell you, you can't build your way out of the prison crisis. To build a prison costs more millions of taxpayers' money. What this government needs to do is have a holistic look at penal sentencing policy. There are too many people in our prisons. The Howard League referenced a report that says custodial sentences have increased in length in the last decade. Now, I'm not arguing against people who present a real and present danger being taken out of public circulation. All of you would agree that. There are many people with mental health issues, many people whose offences are not on the spectrum that require 8, 10, 12 months incarceration. We need money back into probation so we can work in the community, work alongside you, brothers, sisters, your families, and make probation accountable to our communities again. That's the change I'm looking for a Labour government. Real pleasure to speak with you this afternoon. Have a great Congress. Thank you.